like to welcome everyone to the Madison City Plan Commission meeting for Monday, September the 13th. Do we have a roll call, please?
Scoot on up. Daryl Henderson.
Here.
Patrick Kavanaugh. Here. Jeff Kern.
Here.
Mike Armstrong. Jerry Ralston.
Here.
Jay Crafton. Here. Carl Eagle. Here. Josh Gold.
Everyone received a copy of the minutes of the August 9th meeting. If there's no additions or corrections, I would take a motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve.
I second it.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Okay, the first item tonight is Pettit and Associates, an application for a variance for subdivision regulations for street width, curb, and sidewalks. Location 1010, 1016, 1028, and 1030 East First Street, Zone Historic District Residential. If you want to give us your name and address and tell us.
We're here tonight asking for 3 variances to the subdivision regulations. First is pavement width, and the reason for that one is that once you go out of the John Sheets edition, go to the Brushfield edition, there's only a 20-foot right-of-way there. And then we're going to go down over the hill and tie into Fillmore. Fillmore was actually a 14-foot alley, and there's only about 8.5 to 9.5 feet. Brushfield edition will taper down to 18. And the reason we're going to 18 is we're going to have a pretty good cut going down over the hill to get to Fillmore. And I need a couple feet to get a retaining wall in there. And so then when we make the curve, build a variance, ask for and put a radius in down at the bottom. The other thing we are asking for is to eliminate the curb. There's no other curbs in the area. And the last thing is sidewalks, because there's no sidewalks down that part of Madison either. So those are the 3 items that we were asking for.
I do have one. There's 4 addresses listed here. I thought there were 7 lots there. Am I wrong? Or?
Yeah, but the way they're platted up in the county plat map, they're showing it 4 separate parcels.
Oh, okay.
Actually, when that was originally platted by the Sheets and Brushfield editions, there was like 16 lots there. The Sheets editions were only 25-foot lots.
Right.
And we're taking those out to about 65 foot apiece. So that's what our intention is to take them out about 2.5 times what they originally were.
Okay, so
They'll get new addressing
right
when we get the plat approved.
That's what I'm trying to get at. How many actual building lots will there be, Bill?
7.
7. That's what I was thinking. Okay.
I have set of plans here if you want to look at them.
Yeah, we saw them before. I just wanted to make sure I had it right.
Yeah.
What was the width of those lots?
About 65 feet.
65 feet, okay.
And so I think we got a sewer line coming down over that hill, and we've got, so one of them I believe is 75 foot.
Okay.
But-
Got access to garage underneath the home.
Yeah, actually they've got to go up the side of Fillmore about probably 45, 50 foot to get all the 100-year flood.
Okay,
So,
yeah.
and we, on the plans, we've shown that 100-year flood point too, where they've got to be to.
And these are in the flood plain, but not the flood way, correct?
Actually, when we build the homes, they'll be out of that.
And be out of that?
10 to 12, 13 feet above
Okay,
the
good.
100-year.
Even the basements are be above?
Well, if they do, they're gonna have to be up higher on the hill more to do it. But we've got a note on the plans that 465.8 is as low as any structure can get to, which is 2 foot above the 100-year flood.
Right.
I think the request for a variance from the pavement width is understandable. It's a weird right of way down there, necking down and all that. I personally have a problem with not putting in curbs and sidewalks. I understand that there aren't any, but this is new development and we're holding still new development in town, and I personally would like to see curbs and sidewalks at least in the area. Be a lot more traffic with new homes, new residents down there, and I think it would while the city has not yet invested in adding any sidewalks, it would be a nice step in the right direction for that neighborhood.
My only argument with that is, it's a sidewalk to nowhere, which, and I guess a curb's debatable, which I mentioned before, at one time it was 16 lots, and if you'd have built on those, you wouldn't have done nothing,
Right.
you know?
I mean, we could go back to 25-foot lots, and
Yeah,
they've been platted for 140 years.
right.
Are there drains along the edge of the roadway building? Are there, is there
In
a
all
storm drain
sheets, and we're gonna put sheet flow down between the lots.
between the lots?
Yeah.
Okay. So it won't be any underground type of drainage there?
No. Just for sewer.
Right.
So that kind of drainage, then you really don't need the curving to direct.
Yeah, we're just gonna let
Okay.
sheet flow, way it presently goes.
And how much room is there between, let's say, the homes once they're built? Maybe 30 feet, 20 feet between the homes, or?
They don't have, if that's under,
Well, that'd be 10.
historic district residential, and they only need 3 foot
We're
between.
good, yeah, for that.
So, we'll have, I'm sure there'll be more than that between them.
Well, it'd probably be at least 10 to.
You think it'd be 10 feet?
Yeah,
Okay.
because the lots are gonna be wide anyway.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me.
We'll have plenty of,
Plenty of drainage there, is what I was asking.
yeah, plenty of
Okay.
green space.
Plenty of room for
between
that.
here and all that.
Okay.
I think Duke's gonna bring about all theirs up along the top,
Sure.
and, because that's where the main power's at.
Right.
There's one piddly pole down at the bottom that goes to one house that Star Food Store has. Hopefully it'll go away too.
Now, is that gonna be underground utilities or above, above overhead?
Yes, that's part of the discussions we're having right now.
Oh, okay, so it might be underground.
We'd rather have underground.
Yeah, I bet you, yes, it's more.
We'd rather have
Really.
Okay, any other questions from the board?
Okay, my name is Mary Ann Bennett. I'm 1023 Bond Drive. I'm the greenhouse on stilts down there,
Yeah.
okay? My question to you guys, would it be better to put up the sidewalks or leave them gone, because once the river goes up and it starts flooding, and we're gonna have all the water coming down onto us now from that hillside, bringing more water down, because I live next to a subdivision that I've had trouble with before, with how, when they built it, the waterways coming on to me up there in Hanover, okay? So now I'm just curious now, how are we gonna control the water better so when the water flooded all the way up? But I'm just concerned more of all the erosion and everything coming down from over that hillside. Would the sidewalks and the curbs help prevent it, or would it make it a hindrance to
Yes,
me?
and first answer is, we wouldn't do anything on Fillmore, and we're not doing anything on Fillmore, except versus expanding
I
down.
understand, but I'm talking about all the
So-
waters coming down into the
Well, that's
hill, and
still
I
not-
know that's gonna happen because that's the way of the land, right? I
It's still gonna
understand
have
that.
to come down that hill and
Sure,
get to the bottom.
but I know it's because of the flow of the land and
It'd
all
be-
that
it'd
stuff,
be-
but I haven't had that much issues. I mean, we've been down there 25 years now, and I haven't had all that issue from water coming down on me from the backside. Yeah, it comes up from the river, but not from the backside. So that's my concern, that's what I'm asking about.
Typically, I think the more concrete you put in, the more water you're gonna run off, so I guess.
That's what I understand.
Yeah.
And I would be concerned, it goes back to my interest in having curbs there, is when you put these houses on these lots that have been empty for forever, you're losing a lot of ground that absorbed all that water coming off First Street and downhill. So now when you've got concrete driveways, concrete around the house, the houses themselves.
Sure, I understand.
All that water is coming down, and so will that go across Fillmore?
Are you gonna maintain?
It would help direct the water from First Street.
Well, the curbs would have to have cuts in them to let the water through.
Correct.
So there's gonna be more water, but it's gonna be directed in certain spots.
Okay.
Am I right here, Bill?
Well, yes, but, and when it gets down to the bottom of Fillmore Street, it's still.
Oh, right.
Sure.
No, I'm talking about just across First.
Because.
I was just
we're not
wondering,
doing
maybe if you
anything
can
on-
direct it that it doesn't go under my property then, huh? Can we do that? Just asking.
Do you think you're gonna modify the ditching along Fillmore Alley to maybe help with this?
Well, we could probably cut a ditch swale along there and do that to shoot it past her house or, but
Yeah.
actually,
It's gotta get
when we
down there
topo
somewhere.
that, Fillmore is just about dead flat.
Right, yeah,
And-
that would, I think, help the neighborhood. You could just do that with a,
It's just gonna flood on top, but, you know, I understand that, and I just don't want a lot of erosion, more erosion than that.
We'll have to just cut across that open space there.
Work on some kind of a.
little swell ditch there where it can be mowed and take the drainage off, so.
You gather it all up a pipe, you gather it all up in a curb, it's either gonna go towards the shrimp house,
Yeah,
down that street, or it's gonna go down the new road going down Fillmore. So then
Or
we gotta either
could put a little
concentrate on,
swale
yeah.
down
you know what I mean?
the side of their
We don't-
property right up.
Plus, that's pretty,
It's gonna,
huge handle.
you can handle a lot.
And, you know, I mean, you already did 7 lots.
Oh, yeah.
7 lots out of the thing, you're getting new sewer, and you're getting new water, and you're gonna get new electric. When you go back to 4, where's it gonna tie into what's there? Cause it's already platted, you know what I mean, so
Yeah.
I would think it's a win for you guys,
It is.
and for us, you know,
Yeah, and-
both ways.
And like I said, like,
You know, like the curb stuff, I don't know where the ground's coming from, but what the curbs, you know, where you wanna get the ground from?
Well, it's part of the subdivision.
You know,
It'd have to
I
come
mean,
off
you
your-
want us to give you the ground, but
It'd have
then,
to come off your ground.
you know, I can turn it down toward your house, but I don't know if you want it there or not.
Well, and Tony, you're gonna want the drainage.
We don't want you to drain that, you don't need to be building that,
Well, sure.
yeah.
Absolutely.
you know. It is a little tight up through there, you know, when it comes, I'd rather have more blacktop space than I would
Yeah.
a curb to drive on, where I'm kinda get at, yes.
Well, or you could even do a flat sidewalk with no curb. That would, I think the neighborhood, it would
Well, I
help
guess
the
maybe
neighborhood.
something else we bring up, because the city is asking, and the developer has to replace about 425 foot of existing sewer main because it's vitrified clay, just to get 7 lots into it.
So we could,
So somewhere, we need a little help here.
we can
somewhere.
trade you off them curbs for that sewer.
It costs you doing business, though.
If it was up to
Doing
us.
business? Well, like I said, we go back to 4 and not do any. We're just gonna tie into the sewer then, the water that's existing, cause it's already platted, so.
Okay, do we have anyone else in the audience to speak for or against? Any other questions from the board? I would accept a motion.
I make a motion, we accept the variance for the subdivision on the curbing and the sidewalks.
On the deleting the curbing? and
Yes.
sidewalk.
And the pavement width change.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Daryl Henderson,
Yes.
Carl Egan,
Yes.
Patrick Bevnow,
No.
Jerry Ralston,
Yes.
Jeff Kernan,
Yes.
Van Craft.
Yes.
Okay, any new or old business? I don't think we have anything to Joe, nothing. Accept the motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion to adjourn.
And motion, we have a second?
I'll
Yes.
second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.